Washington XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we welcome you in. Today's new drug is back in the fold. Hays Carlyon on vacation, but fret not. A real-life radio star joins us with a bad voice.
I'm working through it.
You're too tough for a bad voice. You kidding me? I know tough guys, and you're there. Hey, that's Ryan Green, otherwise the hacker, joining us. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, bud. I'm good. I'm happy that it's not Saturday. Saturday was the worst day for the voice, but I'm like you. Probably once or twice a year, I get the old frog in the throat. But I've done the honey, I've done the ginger, and I think I'm ready to go.
Put any whiskey in there?
Not today.
Whiskey,
not today.
Oh, well, you can't do it during the show.
Can't do it today.
But I mean, like on weekends, you just drop any whiskey. When you can drink, do you ever drop any whiskey? It helps.
It's happened.
The whiskey and honey helps. Yeah, I'm just saying that. So, well, thank you for joining us, and we appreciate you joining Hays. Hacker will be with us for the first 2 days. Then you're off to parts unknown. Vegas? Is this the Vegas trip?
This is not the Vegas trip. This is Forrest turning 6 on Wednesday.
That's right.
So this is the Magic Kingdom trip.
That's right. Vegas is coming up at some point.
Vegas is coming up next month.
Okay, so there you go. So very good. So, Hack, thanks for joining us. Good to be back here. Hays has a much-deserved week off. J.J. LaSelva's with us after the Braves finally beat the Dodgers last night in Fulton County. How you doing there, J.J.? You good?
I'm great. Had a great weekend.
Did you watch the game last night?
I did. They won, but they basically one guy hit 2 homers.
Yeah.
They suck, man.
Well, I'm watching last night thinking about you. Thinking if they don't strike out whoever the guy was.
My God, the guy on third base with 1 out.
Right. And Shohei, but Shohei's on deck when the last guy. And I'm thinking, here's what's going to happen.
They're going to walk him.
If they want this guy, Shohei's going to hit one halfway to Macon, right?
I was mentally already way prepared for that, Frank.
I get it. I just said it's coming, and my man JJ's not going to be happy. But we're glad to be with you today on the program. Thanks for joining us. It is a Best Bet Monday. We always thank our friends from the Best Bet. Man, the weekend at all Best Bet locations. Friday, $500 high hands every 30 minutes. Saturday, $1,000 high hands every 30 minutes. That's from 10 in the morning to midnight. So all kind of fun stuff going on at the Best Bet. All kind of fun stuff to do with you, Hacker Nation. I got some fun stuff. Number one, we haven't worked since the draft.
Right. So
I want to get your thoughts on the draft. Do you like the draft? Did you like? I should know this because I'm a big fan of the program, but I've had a lot of stuff going on. Where were you on the draft?
You know, when the rumor about the Travis Hunter trade up was circulating and it ultimately happened, it took me a while to contemplate giving up a first-round pick next year and the second rounder this year and all that. So it was expensive at the time, so I thought. But in thinking about it more and more, I love what the Jaguars did because it's different. Trading up to take a player like Travis Hunter, taking a swing, man. I mean, you got to admire James Gladstone, 2 months on the job, Liam Cohen, 3 months on the job. They took a swing in their first time at bat. Hopefully it pays off. We're not going to know that answer for months or maybe years on end, but for the here and now, I congratulate them and congratulate the idea of taking a swing with their first time at bat here for Jacksonville.
Look, you need stars. I'll say this too. I love, and I told Hays this, and I said it's on the air. I told him it's on and off air. I love how unconventional they are. I think the thing I like, I have no idea how important those 30 visits you can bring people in for are. I don't know. I don't know enough. I haven't done the research of how many teams really benefit from the draft because they brought those guys in. But when the Jags didn't do it this year, the standard NFL media, well, how can you not do it? I mean, it's what you do in the NFL. I mean, don't you care? Aren't you trying to win? Don't you care? Don't you know how the league works? And I love the fact that they said, we're not going to do what everybody else does. Mm-hmm. Now, again, I'm not smart enough to know whether moving on from that process is a good one or not. I think it is. I kind of trust these guys. But I love the fact that they said we're not doing it just because it's always been done. I think that, to me, is becoming their identity. Not that they're trying to be different, but rather that they're trying to do it their way, and their way at times might be different. You with me on that?
No, I am, yeah.
It's not that I'm not be different to be different, but not to just fall in line because that's what everybody's always done. And I think trading your 36th overall, your second-round pick, and next year's first-round pick for one player who's not a quarterback is about as unconventional as it gets. To do it for a quarterback's one thing. It's about as unconventional as it gets, and I freaking love it. And I think the guy's going to be a really good player.
I think he's going to be a great player, too. And it doesn't make up for not having a first-rounder, but I thought one of the more undervalued things of the entire league last weekend in Green Bay was that trade Jacksonville had with Detroit on Friday.
Right. Getting
the 2 third-rounders in 2026. They now have 4 day 2 picks. You're going to have 4 top 100 picks next year, even though you don't have a first rounder.
Yeah, and you have a second, and then you got a bunch of thirds. So you'll be very busy. You'll be very busy on Friday.
Yeah.
To your point. Yeah. So you're right. So we'll certainly talk about that. Let me tell you what I need from you. My needs are small. I need a tutorial.
Okay.
No, I said this earlier. I said, and JJ could give me one too, because JJ follows all the sports. And so I'm watching the NBA, and I don't follow it. I mean, I followed it back in the day like other old people. Here's what old people say, that we followed it in the day, we don't anymore. That's kind of an old people thing.
You were a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar fan.
Yeah,
you loved Michael Jordan.
And I probably watched it a little more recently than that.
Yeah.
But I haven't followed today's NBA. But I need you to coach me, like, are Cleveland and Oklahoma City clearly the best? They have clearly the best records. They have, but are they? Would it be a gigantic upset in your mind? I mean, the Celtics are almost as good, and don't do it yet. We're going to do it in a minute. But I mean, you see,
right?
In football, baseball, college football, college basketball, I can pretty much tell you. Forget the records. Who's better than whom, and who's? I think people in our area can do that. The NBA's hit and miss. Hockey's a little bit hit and miss. The hockey game last night was spectacular.
Oh, the Winnipeg game? Holy moly.
And I don't even like hockey. I don't know, just a spectacular hockey game last night. But I don't need that tutorial because I'm not sure you're the one that could give me that.
Probably not.
But I think you probably could do the NBA tutorial. So where's the NBA headed? I mean, I remember, can the Knicks hang with the Celtics? I'm very curious about that. You're a Magic fan. And what is I've asked you this before when you produced our show, we were on the show together. What is the genesis of your Magic fandom? Was it just you were just a kid and they tell me that story?
In 1989, when the Magic came into existence, my uncle lives in Orlando. Basically, my entire family is in Central Florida except us.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Lake Wales, Winter Haven, Lakeland.
As long as I've known you forever, and I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're the only ones in North Florida. Everybody else. I spent summers in Lake Wales with my grandparents.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So,
both you and Walter Clayton are from Lake Wales, sort of.
Sort of. I spent a lot of time in Lake Wales, so I could break down Lake Wales, could break down Spook Hill.
What's their team called? The Scottish somethings or something like that? The Lake Wales? Is there?
And the high school team?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know that.
Okay,
yeah. Walter Clayton knows the high school
Highlanders. Okay, go ahead.
I think Walter Clayton went to Bartow.
He did. He's from Lake Wales, went to Bartow.
But we actually
Spook Hill's the one where it looks like you're like going.
Spook Hill's the one where you put your car in neutral and it looks like you're going forward. It's weird. It's very, very bizarre.
Okay.
But anyway, my entire family's from Central Florida. So my uncle in 1989 got Orlando Magic season tickets at the Arena back in the day, the Orlando Arena. And he took me there when I was 6 years old. And I saw...
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I saw Tree Rollins and who was it? Greg Kite, Anthony Bowie, Nick Anderson, Dennis Scott, the whole... Scott Childs, all those guys, right? And I just became a Magic fan. I just grew up in it, immersed myself in it. Then they got Shaq in 92, Penny in 93, and the rest is history. And I've suffered with the Orlando Magic now for going on 36 years.
Trust me. I understand. I'm a Pirates fan. I get it. But I didn't know the genesis of it. So, okay, very cool.
All because my uncle took me to a game in 1989.
So if you ranked them, I'm assuming Gator football 1 or Jaguar football.
Boy,
1.
I'll tell you, it's probably 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other.
Gator football,
frankly.
Jaguar football.
Yeah, Gators and Jags.
Okay.
Of course, I'm an objective broadcast journalist, but
as I am.
Yeah.
But
if you had to pin me down, I'd say Gators and Jags are probably 6 in one, half a dozen in the
other.
other.
And the Magic right behind?
Magic are right there.
Okay, right behind.
there. Gator basketball is right there as well. Those are probably my
Gator basketball,
top 4.
Magic. You could only have one.
See, this is going to sound crazy to people.
No, nothing's crazy.
Probably the Magic.
Yeah, that's not crazy.
Probably the Magic.
No, that's not crazy. I mean, our fandoms aren't crazy. I mean,
the Magic.
What inspires us inspires us.
I don't know if the Magic to me are like the Pirates to you, but I bet it's close.
Yeah, if someone asked me, very honestly, so I was a Steelers fan until I got the Jaguar gig, and you can't follow everybody. So I don't follow the Steelers as close. I couldn't tell you their depth charts anymore. I couldn't tell you like I used to be able to because I always was the Steelers fan, but the Jags were right there. Well, now once you're locked in with the Jags, it's hard to pay attention to it. It just is. I don't have the bandwidth in my mind to do it. So my 3 teams now are Pirates, Jags, Gators.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone said if you could have any of them win the championship, I'd pick the Jaguars. It affects more people. It affects my job. It affects my career, and it affects my emotions. If you ask me which one would do I hurt the most when they lose, Boy, that one's close. All three of them are close. The Jags, because the fans have wanted it so long. The Gators are the one of the three that have had success. And I love that basketball run was amazing. But the Gators have had success. The other two really haven't.
What was worse, the 2017 AFC Championship game or the 1992 Game 7 NLCS?
Boy, that's a great call. Boy, it's close. Probably the one that hurt the most at the time was the baseball. Probably because I was way less mature.
Yeah.
That's the one that probably hurt the most at the time.
And the ending of that game was just rip your heart out.
The Sid Bream game. But the Miles Jack game I had everything planned what I was going to say. But I'll never tell it. Someone said, what were you going to say if they won?
Yeah.
And I'll never, it's locked in forever. And I mean,
well, maybe we'll find out in January of 26 when they're on their way to the Super Bowl.
There'll be some if they ever do get there, there'll be some elements of it. But I thought they were going to win.
Oh,
yeah. And so the devastation and the
you didn't have to deal with the Patriot fans on that bus ride back to Boston. You were on the team plane, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Because I was in Foxborough.
Oh.
I had to walk down the ramps and get on the train and go back into Boston.
Right.
That was horrible.
So we're riding in the bus on the way over. It's Baselli, Lageman, me, Mike Perkins,
Yep.
We're all driving, and we're going from Providence to Foxborough for the game. And we're in there, and I mean, this is it. We're one game away from the Super Bowl. And somebody says, "You guys nervous?" And I think it was Perk that said it. I'm not sure. It might have been Baselli. I think it was Perk that said, and then I said, "Why are we nervous? We're not playing. Don't want this bus needs to be nervous as Frank, because if we win and he screws it up, it's going to be the worst call of all time."
Yeah.
Well, but I knew everything I was going to say. If they won the game, I knew everything. I mean, I knew everything I was going to say. It was planned out. I can't tell you how many times I did it in the shower. and then they didn't win. And so, but for a while I thought, so that was professionally, that was the most devastating ever. That was in the way they lost. The Miles Jack not down didn't just pull my heart out as much as the 3rd and 18 did.
Oh, yeah.
The 3rd and 18, I think, is the thing that just reached into my soul and pulled the ribs out of the way and grabbed the heart and yanked it. The 3rd and 18.
And I still think
because the game's over if they knock that play away.
And the pass interference on A.J. Boye that wasn't pass interference. I mean, we could have that conversation
There's always
1,000
those.
times.
There's always those. So, but I want you to tell me about the NBA. That comes up a little bit. We're talking about some other things coming up in the program today. Pop step down. I know you guys talked about that, but I want your thoughts on that. I'm going to look ahead to college football, what your expectations are. We'll do that for the next couple of days on the program as well. I will say a funny story. I know you don't follow college baseball very closely. And JJ, I think you'll remember this. So Hays Carlyon, Hays and I are talking on the phone today. Hays Carlyon, by his own admission, couldn't tell you 3 players on the Gator baseball team. Okay, he'll tell you that. He'll laugh. He couldn't. So JJ, I don't know if you remember this or not, but they were so bad. They started 1-11. Do you follow it at all?
Oh yeah, no, I know what's going on.
They start 1-11 in the conference. Worst start in their history, in the program's history. It's the worst conference start. So they've been to the Final Four. They almost won it 2 years ago. Went to the final series, and last year in the top 4. So this was going to be their bad year. They're 1-11. So Hayes sitting right in that chair you're sitting in, and he goes, "They're about to bounce back." I said, "Hayes, they're 1-11, brah." Do you remember this at all, JJ, when he was saying that?
Yes, vaguely.
He goes, they're 1-11. He got a little smirk on his
tongue in cheek.
Yeah, it was because he had a little right. He had that Hayes smirk he gets, knowing that he doesn't really know because he haven't watched the baseball game in 20 years, and he goes, "Nah, I can sense it. It's coming." And so we all kind of laughed about it. He had that little smirk, and then we went to break. Well, since he said that, they are 15-2.
Yeah,
wow.
They are 10-2 in the conference. They've gone from 1-11 in the conference to 11-13 in the conference. They're now a top 15 RPI. And they've gone from.
Didn't they do that last year? They weren't as bad to start
last year. They had to win. Last year they were only 28-27 overall. They had to win 2 out of 3 at Georgia just to get in the tournament.
Right.
And then they went nuts in the tournament. And I'm telling you, from the minute he said that, they are 15-2, 10-2 in the conference. And I was talking to him today. I said, "Can you name 3 players on the team?" He said, "No." He said, "But I studied the sabermetrics." I said, "Sure you do." So,
yeah.
Now, are they a lock to get into a regional?
They're now well. I mean, they play Texas and Alabama 6 more games, If they go 0-6, I suppose they could miss, but they're pretty much in now.
I don't know how good South Carolina is, but they wiped the floor with them.
Well, and
it's 3-game set.
Well, here's what else they did. Texas is the best team in the country. They're ranked first. Arkansas was ranked fourth. Florida beat Arkansas 2 out of 3. Arkansas then swept Texas.
Yeah.
So they're really good. South Carolina's not very good. They beat them 22-3 in the one game. So we got a lot of fun stuff to get to. But let's take a break. When we come back, let's talk about the Jags draft, the team they have now. The OTAs are right around the corner. What are our expectations for minicamp? What else is going to happen with Jaguars football? That comes up in just a bit. We'll start with that. I get my tutorial this hour. I can't wait for my tutorial. I can't wait to hear. The Chief and Bird aren't playing anymore, right?
I'm going to break it down for you like nobody's business.
That comes up at about 4:40. We'll talk some Jaguars football first. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Radio from another galaxy.
Shall I scramble TAC HQ for an intercept?
What's its current position? 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
I want you to forget what you saw here today.
Fantastic news here. Due to overwhelming response, Beard's Diamonds extending their amazing earring and bracelet sale for Mother's Day. Hicken here. So now through Mother's Day, you can still save up to 40% off diamond earrings and diamond tennis bracelets. It's Beard's most ambitious offer ever, and response has been incredible. The corporate-owned big box stores can't touch these prices. Beard's locally owned, man. Say hi to the Lupos when you go over there. The freedom to give you pricing you deserve, highest quality diamond jewelry. Celebrate the mothers in your life with something they'll appreciate for decades to come. They also have special pricing on other Mother Day favorites, including colored gemstones, pearls, pendants, and fashion jewelry. Beard's Diamonds, your destination for making this Mother's Day truly special. Don't miss Beard's Diamonds' biggest sale ever. Up to 40% off Beard's already beatable value price. Now through Mother's Day at the Town Center. Only locally owned jeweler. It's Beard's Diamonds.
Hacker here, and let's talk sincerity. You know, there's a big difference between someone tossing you a casual, hey, how you doing, and genuinely asking, no, really, how are you doing? At Awaken 180, I felt that sincerity every single week while dropping 122 pounds, and I still feel it every month in free maintenance for life. Sure, seeing that number plunge on the scale was incredible, but what truly pushed me across the goal line? My amazing Awaken 180 coaches. They coached me up like I was prepping for draft day, always in my corner, sincerely invested in my success, and check this out. I'm going on a cruise in a couple of weeks, complete with formal night. Now, normally, cameras and I have a strained relationship. I hated taking pictures, but thanks to Awaken 180, the camera and I have made peace. No more ducking photos. Want results you can actually keep? Do what we all did and call 844-346-1800 or book online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save 15% on roof replacements and repairs now through May 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 125-8484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Hey, Hicken here. Tired of glasses or contacts? Discover customized vision solutions at Bowden Eye & Associates. Dr. Bowden's team offers cutting-edge options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses or refractive lens exchange and classic LASIK, designed to fit your life. Picture perfect vision for reading, driving, or just enjoying the day. It's easier than you think. Call now for your free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, they're keeping the First Coast focused.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Friends, we have a very special guest on the line.
The Checkmate Coatings phone line is where the action happens.
Where's the phone? Over there.
Get expert interviews and listener opinions all day, every day, from the drill all the way to Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent crashes and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll. Safety's the goal.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. When it's smooth as silk, Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Frank Frangie, Hacker Nation, JJ LaSelva. So, JJ, I was at had some family stuff last week, and we had a lot of our family kind of converge in the Tampa area, and a number of them live in Ocala.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, my sister, my niece, lives in Ocala. She and her husband and their daughter live in Ocala, and my sister-in-law, one of my sister-in-laws, her mom lives in the Carolinas now, but was in Ocala. So, confirm or deny this, my niece Jennifer said, and she actually works at the Villages. She's like a marketing person working at the Villages.
A lot of Ocala people, that's where they work now.
Right.
It's like the big city.
Yeah. So lives in Ocala, works at the Villages. She said traffic in Ocala is worse than it's ever been.
Dude, I just heard that. Like 2 weeks ago, I was there for Easter, and I've heard the same thing, and I laughed at my Ocala friends for saying that.
I kind of chuckled a bit, too.
But it's true.
Yeah.
But that's like, okay, so what? The worst traffic in the history of Ocala is like,
But she says
sort of a Tuesday on Southside Boulevard.
But and relatively speaking, that might be the case. But she was going on and on about, and I said, well,
it would be like the way that if I said to a Boston person that traffic's bad in Jacksonville, they'd probably laugh.
Yeah, well, good point. But I mean, she goes, "You go to Ocala?" I said, "No, my buddy at work is from Ocala and gets there from time to time, and I'll try and confirm that with him." So I did. So, but
it's confirmed.
Yeah. So she says it's really awful. So
it's a great place to live, man.
Yeah, loved it. She would never leave. They love Ocala. They freaking love Ocala.
My only Ocala story is that I almost died in the Wild Waters water park.
You almost went down.
Wow. Yeah, remember Wild Waters, JJ?
Oh yeah.
You almost went down
in the wave. It is in the wave pool. I was 10 years old.
Wow, we wouldn't have had Hacker.
Yeah, Mom told me don't go in the wave pool, Wild Waters. So what did I do? I went in the wave pool.
Wow.
I want to know why you were vacationing in Ocala.
It was like a family reunion.
Wild Waters are good.
Yeah, we did Silver Springs and Wild Waters.
Yeah, double dip.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Silver
glass
Springs?
bottom boats?
Okay. Love Silver Springs.
Yeah. When did they get rid of 6 Gun Territory?
Oh my God, that was.
I was like in the
Now we're talking old Ocala, folks. This was like the Western towny, like they would do like a gun fights and.
Let me just tell you this, JJ LaSelva out of Ocala, Florida. You think when I was in the 3rd grade and we took a field trip to 6-gun territory, you think I didn't draw? Okay.
Oh, did you now?
Doggone right I drew.
I'm glad to see you're still living.
Oh, I could draw. Boy, could I draw. Quick draw is what it was.
They closed that down probably like 40 years ago or something like that.
This would have been this would have been probably, 1963, 64.
Yeah. Wow.
6-gun territory was all the rage.
Free Disney World.
Oh, absolutely free Disney World. Hays and I had this conversation with the Jaguars football team. I like what they've done. I like the fact that they're unconventional. Some things that jump out to me. They've created real competition at offensive line. I love that. Mm-hmm. I think the competition on the offensive line is legit, heck. I think bringing in 2 swing tackles that both could win jobs over Little or Anton Harrison, which they could, by the way. Drafting Wyatt Milam, who's really going to push Cleveland. Bringing in Hainsey and McCarry to start, but also get pushed. So offensively, I think they have a chance to take a great step forward. It's Trevor Lawrence's 5th year. Quarterbacks tend to emerge as their 5th year. And I will tell you, here's what I wonder. And I don't know this. I don't act like I know this. But I wonder if they ran 40-yard dashes. And I wonder if they ran their wide receivers. If Travis Hunter, who's I think is the best player in the draft, might be one of the best players in the league, I think he might finish 3rd. Do you know that?
In the wide receiver room.
I think he might finish. It's just a straight ahead race.
So BTJ and Diami, I guess.
Diami Brown.
Wow.
Who's really fast. Now, again, we'll see. And that doesn't mean better, but Travis Hunter's really fast, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's like really fast. I mean, you saw it. You didn't have to watch it very long. And he's got that Percy Harvin stop and start stuff. But I think they could really, and the fastest player on their offense is probably Tootin, the rookie out of Virginia Tech. So I think they could step forward. Offensively is where I think they could make a gigantic leap. What do you think?
I have a question about one of their positions, but when talking about the wide receiver room, obviously all the talk is BTJ, Travis Hunter, a little Diami Brown, and you throw in there some Parker Washington as well. Are they going to get anything out of Gabe Davis? It was a year ago that we were all excited, or at least I was, about Gabe Davis, and now he's a complete afterthought. And my thought on it is, man, if you get anything out of that guy, if he's here, that's only going to be an added bonus.
I think if he's healthy, then when he's going to be healthy.
Right.
I don't even know when he's going to be healthy. That's first, and I don't know. Is he healthy?
There was a video or a picture released for him doing some squats in a weight room, and it looked pretty good to me.
Maybe he is, but when healthy, I think today he's wide receiver 5. I think right now, and look, they might have just missed on him. You know, they might have just missed on the guy, and we'll see. But I think at best he's wide receiver 5. I mean, I can tell you, the first 3. I mean, the first 3 are going to be Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, and Diami Brown. I don't think there's. I mean, they just gave Diami Brown $10 million on a 1-year deal. Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be one of the best receivers in the league. And I think they picked the best guy in the draft to play wide receiver and to play some corner, but to play wide. So there's your first 3. And again, if they're right about Diami Brown, we'll see. But if they think the guy that played in the postseason for Washington last year is who they got,
right? If
they're right about him, and Parker Washington's your 4th guy, Parker's the guy. He's your return guy. He's your steady guy. But no, I think Gabe Davis, if healthy, is at best their 5th guy. That's what I think.
I think my question is, I like the offensive line like you. I like the wide receiver room. There's all of a sudden some congestion in the running back room, which is interesting. Tight end to me is a little questionable.
Right.
Brenton Strange, Hunter Long, Johnny Munt. I mean, I don't know. I have some trepidation about the tight end room.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the new guys, so I can't comment intelligently on them. Every time I knock around down there or talk to people, a bunch of names come up. The tight end names haven't come up, but I haven't asked about them either. So I don't know the 2 new tight ends. I don't know much about. Everybody loves Brenton Strange, but until he does it, we'll see. He's got to do it first. So I agree with you. I'm not going to say I have negative feelings about the tight end room. I just don't know. I don't have a good gauge of what I think that'll be. I'd be lying if I said that I did. I also don't have a gauge of how I think the running back room is going to play out. Here's what I'll tell you about the running backs room. As of right now, they've got 5 running backs they drafted. You realize that?
Yeah.
There's 5 drafted running backs on that team.
You forget Keelan Robinson.
He's a drafted running back.
Right.
So there's 5 drafted running. Well, they're not all going to be on the team. So conventional thinking is Keelan Robinson's probably the odd man out. I think the prior regime drafted him to be a return guy. I think but there's still would not surprise me if they kept all four, because all four are good athletes. All four could play special teams. I don't think you're going to see Travis Etienne on special teams, but you get the point. I mean, all four could, but that's a congestion. But my point is, I think there's enough there to get really better on offense. I would not be surprised if everybody's healthy, if the Jaguar offense is very good, very good. Defensively, I'm not there yet. I want it to be good, but I think I want to see what happens at safety. I want to see what happens at some of the linebacker spots, apart from Foye Oluokun, who's a really good player. I want to see what happens at the 2 defensive tackle spots, which is an area they didn't add. So for me, let me stay on the offense for a second. Agree or disagree that this could be a top half offense?
Oh, I think it very, very easily could be a top half offense. I heard Rick Ballou last week talking about, all right, they averaged 18 points a game last year, which was towards the bottom of the league. Yeah. What is realistic? I mean, I don't think it's realistic to go from 18 points a game to 27 points a game. But can they go from 18 points a game to 22 or 23 points a game?
I'll say this. If it's not a top 10, top 12 offense, I'd be surprised. How about that?
Well, okay.
I would be. I may be wrong. I'm a Homer guy. Listen, I admit to who I am. I'm that guy, but it is my opinion.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if they're not a top 10, top 12 offense. And I mean, look, say what you want. Liam Cohen unlocked some things in Baker Mayfield that had not been unlocked before. He turned Bucky Irving into a star. Yes, he had 2 really good receivers to work with, but he still got a lot out of them when healthy. So for me, I am very excited about the amount of points and the way I think this Jaguar team can score. They've got an all-world kicker. They've got a quarterback who's entering his 5th year, which is usually the prime of these quarterbacks. They've got 4 running backs in that room to choose from. They've got, if De'Ami Brown's what they think, Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter are the other 2 receivers. I mean,
right.
they got 3. I mean, they have a great receiver. They have a great receiver we know now in Brian Thomas Jr. They've got the second pick in the draft who just won the Heisman and Travis Hunter, and they got a guy in De'Ami Brown they really like. So, I mean, they might really like. So I think the offense will be better. So let's stay on the offense for a second, or wrap up the offense. I would be surprised if it's not a lot better. I really would.
Yeah, we had Prisco on last week, and that's 2 weeks in a row that he's talked about the Fred Johnson situation at left tackle. You mentioned the offensive line. Do you think it's conceivable that there are legit battles at the 2 tackle positions?
Yes.
Because I know a lot of people are talking about Walker Little and Anton Harrison. So you do think there's competition there?
There's no doubt in my mind. I can tell you this right now. There's no doubt in my mind that all 5 positions will have to win their jobs.
Wow.
Now, let me say it again. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Now, having said that, well, does that mean, what do you think is going to happen? Okay, what I think is going to wind up happening is that Hainsey's going to be the center and McCarty's going to be the right guard. That's what I think is going to happen. Okay, that's the one I feel the best about. I probably think Anton Harrison is going to wind up being the right tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, he's going to be the right tackle. But I think Chuma Udoga is going to push him. I think Udoga, when properly motivated, when playing well, when in a good system, when in a good rhythm, is a good player. And so I think I think Hainsey's going to be the center, but I think McCarty's going to be the right guard, but I think they're going to have to battle for that spot. I'm most confident those 2 are starters. I think Harrison will beat out Udoga or Johnson or whoever, or Walker Little, whoever winds up competing with him at the end of the day. But I think it's going to be a battle. I think Fred Johnson and Walker Little's a coin flip.
Do you? Wow.
I think it's a coin flip. I think, Walker's a good player, hadn't been a great player. Fred Johnson's a good backup, hadn't been a great backup. Both. Fred's a big physical guy. I think that one's a coin flip. I really. And by the way, I think you're going to see when you go out to practice the days I think you're going to see him play all around. I think you're going to see Fred on the right, Fred on the left, Udoga on the left, and Udoga on the right. I think you're going to see him. But I think I think Wyatt Milam is going to push Ezra Cleveland.
See, that's the talk. Milam, Cleveland. I guess my question would be the loser of Fred Johnson, Walker Little at left tackle. Could they be involved in the left guard spot?
Everybody says that. I don't think so.
No, okay.
I think on this. Look, everything's up for competition, but in my opinion, the tackles are tackles, the guards are. I think they brought in Wyatt Milam to really push Ezra Cleveland. And if Ezra Cleveland beats him out, then by God, he earned the job. So I think a lot of competition there. Quick thought on the defense because I want to get to some other stuff. I love their edges. I think Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker back in a system that fits them more than whatever that was they ran last year. Okay, yeah. I think will be very good. I think Foye Oluokun's one of the best middle linebackers in the league and doesn't get credit for how you move him to whatever they move to Sam because he plays better in space than Devin Lloyd. Whatever, it's over. I think he's one of the best middle linebackers in the league. I think the two edges are good players. I think Tyson Campbell's a good player. I think those guys are good players. After that, I'm hopeful. Ventrell Miller healthy is a heck of a player. Can he stay healthy? That's my. Devin Lloyd, I don't know how good a player he is. I don't hack. I think he's going to move to Sam. I hope he's okay. I don't know. I think Yasir Abdullah is going to push him. I think Jack Kaiser, if Ventrell Miller's not healthy, is going to really push him. He could win that job. They really like him. The safeties, the Tulane guy, I think, has got a chance to be their starter opposite Eric Murray. I really do. I just think I think Travis Hunter's going to be very good. I think he's going to be in there and get off the field downs. I think on 1st and 10, you're not going to see a lot of Travis Hunter. I think on 3rd and 7, you're going to see him every time. I think that's kind of the plan. So really excited about where the offense is headed. Hopeful about the defense.
I got a question
as with the team right now.
I got a question about the D-line. Quickly to the secondary. Where do you have Antonio Johnson, Darnell Savage?
Both battling for starting jobs. I think if you looked at the depth chart today, Darnell Savage would be a starting safety opposite Eric Murray if you looked at it today. And Antonio Johnson would be probably backing him up. Mm-hmm. But I think they brought in competition. I think that was the whole idea. And so I'm not convinced that either one of those guys start.
And based on the lack of player acquisition on the D-line, except for Emmanuel Ogbah, by the way, they finally brought in a third edge.
Right.
Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson, they must like him.
Well, it's clear they like him. It's clear their lack of activity on the interior defensive front means between Devon Hamilton, who if he could ever re-find what he had before the illness, is a good player.
Yeah.
Eric Armstead, if there's anything left, was a good player. Okay? Between those two guys, then Mason Smith and Tyler Lacey and Jordan Jefferson, I can tell you they like that group. I can tell you this staff, and I could have told you this before the draft, because this staff thinks there's something there. There's areas where the staff looked and said, I'm not sure there's much there. Those areas, I think they think there's something there. So it's going to be it'll be fun. I like their team, Hacker. I still think there's some work to do. I'm not convinced this is the 53 they're playing with. I think it's close, but I'm not convinced it is, so it'll be a lot of fun. Let's take a break. When we come back, I need a tutorial. I need you to walk me through who's good. I mean, why is Oklahoma City, why were they 68-14? Is Shane Gilgeous-Alexander that good?
He's pretty good.
He's pretty good, right?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Let's talk. I need a tutorial. If you're listening, take notes. Okay. There will be a test, but I want to know, and I want you to tell me who's going to win the NBA championship. That's after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Day by day, play by play.
Touchdown, Jacksonville.
The station that covers the Jaguars day in and day out. 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or cater desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Hey, Hicken here. So much of what makes us a family takes place in our homes. That's where Zero Res comes in. I love Zero Res, and this month get Zero Resified from Jacksonville's #1 carpet and air duct cleaner with May Mayhem. A 3-room special starting at $149, plus the 4th room is free. You owe it to yourself and your family to breathe healthy, happy, and clean. Call Zero Res 28757 or go online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and say you want the Hicken special. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
I'm Max Fink, and I'll bring you the Gator Report several times weekly to keep you connected to Gainesville.
The Gator Report, put together by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go, Gator! Jacksonville, Hickens calling it. Checkmate Coating, my MVP. Tough, slick floors that dominate any space.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Plumbing problems? AC not blowing? Septic tank doing whatever septic tanks do? Don't call 3 different companies and play contractor roulette. Just call DuckDuckRooter. Waddle over to DuckDuckRooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances, that's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
If someone you love needs a pick-me-up, then it's time to get serious about it and send them a Kuhn floral arrangement. RJ here with 1010XL, and you'll be assured of a quality delivery. That's for sure. Log on and order online at KuhnFlowers.com.
Join us at Miller Electric May 29th from 4 to 7 p.m. We're on the lookout for talented people from entry level to experienced electricians and foremen, security system installation and service technicians, fire alarm system service technicians, and both senior and junior VDV technicians. This is your chance to get hired on the spot. Meet the managers, indulge in delicious food, and snag some awesome giveaways. Don't miss out on this electrifying chance to power up your career. Miller Electric, May 29th, 4 to 7 p.m., 6805 South Point Parkway.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom. And that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low 5s, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Here's my thinking, Hack. I think at times the microwave, Vinny Johnson's going to get hot.
Yeah.
But I think DJ will shut him down.
It could happen.
That's what I think.
Could happen.
I think Michael Cooper could get hot if they covered Norm Nixon.
Jeez.
Okay?
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I think. Okay. How we doing?
That's old school.
It's
old school.
All right. I need a tutorial. The Cavs were 64-18 in the regular year. The Celtics 61-21, so a full 3 games ahead of them. That's in the East. In the West, Oklahoma City was 68-14, which is an enormous year. I mean, well ahead of the pack of anybody in the West. Why are they so good? And a serious question, why are they so good?
Well, Oklahoma City, I mean, they drafted unbelievably well. Let's start there. They helped their roster as well with trade acquisitions and a couple of free agents and Hartenstein and Caruso. And the funny thing is, they're 68-14, and they haven't even really been healthy for a large portion of the year. I mean, Chet Holmgren missed 2.5 to 3 months, and he is a vital part of that team. But the head and shoulders of that team is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, he is the best player in the NBA that casual sports fans don't ever talk about. If Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was in New York or Chicago or Los Angeles, he would be a household name. But because he's in Oklahoma City, again, casual, everyday sports fans that aren't NBA diehards maybe know the name but don't know about him. He is absolutely phenomenal. Oklahoma City is like a college town, too, with that home court advantage.
Right.
That's an arena where, like, the fans won't sit down until OKC makes the first bucket. I mean, it is a crazy environment in there. And you want to talk about wiping the floor with Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. Oklahoma City had no problem with them in a 4-0 sweep. Now it gets considerably harder for them tonight as they take on Joker and the Denver Nuggets in the Western semis.
Jalen Williams is 6'5".
Yeah.
He's that is so little by NBA standards. He's a good player.
Great defender, too.
Yeah, he's
great defender.
So,
and it's not just Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I talk about Holmgren. I talk about Hartenstein, Jalen Williams. Wiggins is another guy that's pretty good. And then I go back to Caruso, was a veteran presence from Chicago. There's a lot of guys that are really good. They're a deep basketball team. It's because they've drafted so well. And again, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, or SGA as he's referred to, is the best player on that team, and it's not even close.
And by the way, he was maybe the best player in the league, to your point. He's a guy, for people that don't know, that went to Kentucky. He had it down to Kentucky and Florida and had committed to Florida. Did you realize that?
Now that you mention that, I think I do remember
He
that.
was a Florida commit.
Yeah.
And then flipped to Kentucky at the end. I remember that, and I remember thinking, well, they lost a good player, but he's not a great player. Well, he's a mega great NBA player.
Turned out to be a great player. But again, the talk with them is they're so young. They haven't really been in a position like this. And now they have Denver. Now they have Jamal Murray and Joker and Aaron Gordon and Russell Westbrook, and they got to contend with the Denver Nuggets, who just won a very hard-fought series over the Clippers. So it's a veteran team in Denver. And the crazy thing about Denver, they fired their coach with 3 games to go in the regular season.
Right.
I mean, that is just wild that you fire your coach a week before the playoffs. You win a 7-game series against a good Clipper team. And now here we go, game 1 tonight with Denver and Oklahoma City. Should be a heck of a series.
Meanwhile, the Cavs were 64-18, marginally ahead of the Celtics, but still ahead of them. Why are they so good?
Well, they got a new coach. Cleveland beat Orlando last year in the playoffs, but then got beat pretty handily by New York. And they fired their coach, brought in Kenny Atkinson, and then the Cleveland team just kind of grew up last year. Donovan Mitchell's a great player. Obviously, Mobley and Allen on their front court are very, very good players. It's a deep Cleveland team. They made some trades at the trade deadline. I've never thought, even though they have a better record than Boston, I don't think they're better than the Celtics, even though they're the number 1 seed. And I'll tell you, Frank, I don't know how much of that game you watched yesterday. Cleveland's got a problem with Indiana. Indiana, again, is not a big market, so no one's really paid much attention to them. If you watched that game yesterday, Indiana was clearly the better basketball team. Indiana has home court in that series now. Cleveland's in trouble in this series against the Pacers.
What makes them so good?
Well, again,
let me ask you. Is Reggie Miller getting loose?
Reggie Miller.
Sorry. That'll be my last one.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, but Mark Jackson, all the boys. No, I mean, look, Halliburton's awesome. Pascal Siakam's awesome. But they're so deep. They got so many guys. Andrew Nembhard is a key part of that Indiana Pacer team.
It was very good yesterday.
Very good.
And he has become a very, very good NBA player. For people that don't know, went to Florida under Mike White.
Yeah.
Stayed a few years, transferred to Gonzaga.
Was terrific at Gonzaga.
And that's where he really kind of came into his own. If you've watched over the years, Siakam's been around for a long time. Been on a few teams. Been on Toronto, been here. He's been a pretty good team. Tyrese Halliburton's a terrific player. But you're right. Nembhard is a very important part of their team. I guess when I watch the NBA now, and again, I've always been honest about this. Maybe I just don't watch it enough. But there don't seem to be a lot of superstar players that the mainstream public knows. Back in the day, the best player, back in the old, I joke about, but it is true. The best players in the NBA were guys every fans of other sports knew. You all, not just Jordan and Bird and Magic, but everybody knew McHale, and everybody knew Parrish, and everybody knew Michael Cooper, and everybody knew Norm Nixon, and everybody knew Hakeem because he was a great player. Everybody knew Drexler. You know, I mean, you didn't have to be a basketball fan to know those guys. You could be a diehard NFL fan and a casual basketball fan, and you would know those guys. I get the sense now that if you're a diehard NFL fan and only a casual NBA fan, you're not going to know hardly any players. Do you agree with that or no?
No, I do. And Charles Barkley made mention of this on a TNT broadcast a couple weeks ago. I mean, when's the last time you turned on ESPN morning programming, Sports Center, Get Up, any of those programs, First Take, and they did a thing on Indiana or Oklahoma City? Right. They're only talking about the Lakers. They're only talking about the Celtics because they're broadcasting to a national audience.
Right.
They don't want to talk about Indiana. They don't want to talk about Oklahoma City. They don't want to talk about Cleveland, which that affects the popularity of a lot of players on those teams.
Yeah, yes and no. I agree with that. First of all, you're right, and Barkley's right. But sometimes you have to be a star to get talked about. It's not you get talked about so you're a star. You become a star and get talked about. And I don't know how you do that.
I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's a star.
He's a great player. But
his style of play is not exciting.
Tell me more. What is it? Slasher.
He's a foul drawer.
Yeah.
Where he really is not exciting. He's going to go to the line like 10 plus times every single game. He lives at the free throw line. Like, that's SGA's game. He puts up great stats. Right. But he's not an exciting guy.
Paolo's kind of like that as well.
Yeah, and JJ's onto something if that's the case. But again, and the market's part of it.
OKC, yeah,
the market,
really small.
The market's part. But I tell you what, Jalen Brunson plays in New York City.
He's another foul drawer guy that people hate to watch, though. He's a tough watch.
Yeah, he good player. I hear you. Very physical. But he's in New York City. I mean, he's in freaking New York. And I would suggest that if you're not a basketball fan, you don't know him. So
that's
1,000%.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
but that team also hasn't won anything.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, and again,
they're like very popular in New York, but
and I have this conversation, JJ and Hack, and people think it's a criticism. It's not a criticism of the NBA. I don't think the NBA is doing anything wrong. I don't think it's a bad image thing. For a while there, the Pacers had Steven Jackson, and it was this bad image thing. It's not a bad image. The NBA image is good. It's a healthy image. I just don't think this wave of players, maybe it's just how enormous freaking football is,
and because they literally just throw the regular season away.
And maybe that's part of it.
If you just listen, I love the NBA. I watch every single night. I got 2 screens up every single night, but if it's a regular, Thursday night game on TNT and you might put on a game like, oh, man, I'm really excited to see OKC play whoever, Denver. And it's like, well, at least one of the guys is going to be sitting out. Like, it's always like that in the regular season. There's rarely a game you can see where both teams are playing at full strength. Yeah. It's really sad. And so you're basically throwing away December to May.
82 games is too long. I love it, but it's too long. And to JJ's point, I mean, the NBA regular season starts in the middle of October.
I know.
If you're not a diehard NBA fan, you don't even care until after the Super Bowl. Which means it's 4 months of the season you don't even watch.
Well, October's the worst time because by the way, there's football.
Right.
B, it's the 1 month of the year the mainstream
World
people watch
Series,
baseball.
yeah.
It's the only. I love baseball, but baseball has a little bit of a popularity problem too.
And we had an election this year.
Well, think about what January's turned into. Not only is January NFL playoff football, but now you got the college football playoff.
But I'll say this: even though baseball doesn't have the allure it once did, mainstream guy knows Shohei.
Oh, yeah.
Mainstream guy knows Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
Mainstream guy forever knew Mike Trout. Maybe not as much now. It's just different.
I also think that most of the superstars now are foreigners. Like, that certainly doesn't help.
A lot of
Jokic is a fun guy, but he's not going to be popping up on your screen doing commercials. He's not going to be doing funny interviews. He's not, that's why they really need Ant to like be great.
Yeah,
because he's so fun on camera.
He's charismatic.
Exactly.
He's very charismatic.
And might get people interested from social media and stuff like that. Another thing, like, SGA is not even American, by the way.
Yeah.
You won't see him play. Yeah, he won't play on our team.
Right.
So
He's from Canada.
It's just there's a lot like Giannis. They tried to make him a superstar forever. He's a Greek guy with a hard name to say.
Well, it's very true, in a small market.
Yeah.
So what happens?
Luka, he's not from here.
What happens to the star value of the league when LeBron and Steph aren't playing anymore?
Well, it's going to be hurt. You need somebody to assume that mantle, and that's why I agree with Anthony Edwards as kind of the up-and-coming guy. But again, he's in Minneapolis. Although they play Golden State tomorrow. It's Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green against this Minnesota team.
Right.
Juicy.
I am very excited about that.
I will say this, in fairness, in contrast or in on the other side of the argument, I suppose, of what happens when LeBron and Steph aren't playing anymore, leagues always develop stars. And if you're the best player and the most talked about player, now what happens a lot of times in a lot of sports is the megastars find their way to the big market. I mean, Shohei found his way to the Dodgers.
Miraculously.
Okay? Aaron Judge is on the Yankees. Somehow, some way, the star players often find their way to the big market.
LeBron's on the
LeBron's
Lakers.
in L.A., so it'll be interesting to see if that happens with Gilgeous Alexander or Donovan Mitchell or anybody else in the league.
No, it will be, and we'll see what happens moving forward. A quick thought on Steph Curry. I was watching ESPN this morning. I thought it was such an interesting take. They said Steph Curry is 37 years old now, I believe. You say give him one more championship and one more finals MVP, and he could begin to enter the conversation of the GOAT with LeBron, Michael Jordan. And I looked at that, and I'm like, no, but then if you actually look at Steph Curry's numbers and if you add another finals MVP and another championship, I think there is at least a debate to be had as to where he ranks among the greatest basketball players that have ever lived.
You can't not be the best on your championship team, though. KD was so much clearly better than him. He didn't even win an MVP, finals MVP, till 2022.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He's the best shooter that's ever lived.
Yeah, he's the best shooter that's ever lived.
I will say this. He is one of the most recognizable NBA players of the last 4 decades. Which is saying something. We'll take a break. When we come back, let's talk some Gators. You want to talk some Gators? You like
I
the Gators?
would love to.
You a Gator fan?
Sure.
Okay, we'll talk Gators. That's after this. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Hays Carlyon for Kingfish Pest Control. Mosquito season is upon us, but don't let them take over. The secret to a bite-free yard is starting today with Kingfish Pest Control. Their 3-step mosquito defense process stops them before they can spread. Eliminate breeding areas, build a protective barrier around your yard, and monthly treatments to keep them away all season long. The earlier you start, the fewer mosquitoes you'll have to fight. Don't let those pests ruin your outdoor fun. Call Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Even more Jaguars. Listen to the Tommy Mac podcast with Tom McManus and Campo and Joe with Dave Campo and Joe C. Find these original podcasts at 1010XL.com or on Twitter at 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
At Beaver Toyota, we believe your experience should be more than just buying a car. It should be a lifetime of confidence, care, and trust. We're proud to offer a lifetime warranty, lifetime oil changes, and lifetime customer service. We're not just here to sell you a car. We're here to establish a lifelong relationship that you can always count on. It's simple. You deserve the best and shouldn't settle for less. Visit Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine, where we're ready to give you peace of mind for a lifetime. We're here to wow you.
Want a simple way to boost your company's image without a big renovation? A fresh paint job in your brand's colors can increase recognition up to 80%. At Performance Painting, we help companies stand out with clean, on-brand finishes that impress clients and energize employees. From color consultations to low-odor coatings that won't disrupt operations, we've got you covered. Visit performance-painting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
Hacker here with an opportunity. Drop 40 pounds by the 4th. You can do it. I dropped my first 40 in 6 weeks. Hayes did it, Dempsey, Ballou, and thousands of others have done it. 40 by the 4th with Awaken180weightloss.com.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather starting to turn for the better, look ahead. Get that backyard ready for spring with a new screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are best in the business. If you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Share a cup of coffee and range balls with Dan, Jeff, and PGA pros. Tour news, tips, and inside info.
Sounds like a lot of club for this young man.
Brunch with the Tour.
Brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation. 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Fantastic news here. Due to overwhelming response, Beers Diamonds extending their amazing earring and bracelet sale for Mother's Day. Hicken here. So now through Mother's Day, you can still save up to 40% off diamond earrings and diamond tennis bracelets. It's Beers' most ambitious offer ever, and response has been incredible. The corporate-owned big box stores can't touch these prices. Beers, locally owned, man. Say hi to the Lupos when you go over there. The freedom to give you pricing you deserve, highest quality diamond jewelry. Celebrate the mothers in your life with something they'll appreciate for decades to come. They also have special pricing on other Mother Day favorites, including colored gemstones, pearls, pendants, and fashion jewelry. Beards Diamonds, your destination for making this Mother's Day truly special. Don't miss Beards Diamonds' biggest sale ever. Up to 40% off Beards' already beatable value price. Now through Mother's Day at the Town Center. Only locally owned jeweler. It's Beards Diamonds.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, it's Guggen Golf time. If you and a friend would like to play in this year's Coastal Equipment Guggen Open Golf Tournament, May 19th at Hidden Hills Golf Club, text Guggen, Googan, to the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010 for your chance to win. Score a hole in one and win an Atlantic Infinity SUV. Enjoy a Chick-fil-A breakfast, a Dandy Foods lunch. Check out the latest big boy toys from Ride Now Power Sports. Thanks to our sponsors, Taco Loop, Lift Power, Instant Keys, and Southern Oak Insurance.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. Jaguars defensive end and last season's Walter Payton Man of the Year, Eric Armstead, had to sit down with TMZ Sports over the weekend, where Armstead talked about how Travis Hunter can make an impact on defense, even while playing a majority of his snaps while lined up as a wide receiver.
We want playmakers out there, and he's definitely a playmaker. The special thing about Travis is him defensively is his ability to get the ball out of the air. He plays cornerback like he's a receiver. Getting him his own coverage and being able to have his eyes on the quarterback and be on defense and play receiver essentially and take the ball out of the air. The name of the game is turnovers. They're going to have a plan for him to get him up to speed on everything that we're doing on both sides of football.
Seeing how Hunter can impact the game on both sides of the ball will be one of the most exciting stories going into the next season. It's 83 degrees at 5:04. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Hack, you ready for Mother's Day?
I am.
Have you done your shopping yet?
I am. Well,
is Forrest done his shopping yet?
Yeah, well,
Forrest out shopping?
Forrest and I have a plan down in Orlando for Mommy.
Okay. I mean, you have a plan.
It's all about having a plan.
Mother's Day's a fun, but mothers deserve it. I'll say this. So mothers deserve a wonderful day. It's an important day to them. So please remember your mom this weekend. Jay, do you got anything we can give a mom? Give somebody from what do you got in there?
I do. I'm about to make a mom very happy.
Okay, what do you got?
I have a $25 gift card to Small Cakes Cupcake and Creamery plus $75 certificate to Wick. A candle bar. This is part of our 1010XL Mother's Day gift guide. Head to 1010XL for more great gift ideas.
That's all. How do they get it? What caller? What are we doing here?
Be caller number 4 right now at 641-1010, and I'll hook you up.
See the way we take care of moms around here?
I like that.
We take care of moms. Absolutely. Well done, JJ.
I could have easily just taken this for myself and give it to my own mom, but I'm giving it to you.
You're
listeners.
very generous and altruistic. Yes, you are. Well done. We appreciate that. Where's Walter Clayton Jr. on the list of great Gators? I'm not breaking it down by coach, player, band member, cheerleader, professor, sport. Just where is he on? In your opinion, where is he?
You know, I know we were asked this, I think, the first week of the NCAA tournament, and I said he was probably in my top 5. Talk to me if they win the national championship.
Okay, a top 5 Gator player.
Top 5 Gator players.
That's Gator basketball players.
Gator basketball
players.
players.
I'm talking about all of it.
The whole,
all of it.
As far as football, okay. Well, he's not Tebow.
Okay.
Okay.
He's not Werfel.
He's not Werfel or Spurrier.
So those 3 stand alone.
Yeah.
And I said that in the handoff of the guys. Those 3 have their own category. You know.
I don't think he's Emmett, right? Now, is that more? Is it what he did in the pros?
Is he not Emmett as far as a great Gator?
Now, again, I just missed the Emmett era. I was like 5'6".
Oh, Emmett was a really good player.
Yeah.
On some really mediocre teams.
But I think when you say the name Emmitt Smith, more people refer to the Dallas Cowboys, obviously, than the Florida Gators.
Yeah, but keep going. That's a good conversation piece. Keep going.
I mean, as far as basketball players go, now again, Vernon Maxwell,
right?
Neil Walk, Dwayne Shinsis. I don't think any of those.
I think he's the most impactful basketball player they've ever had, and it's not even close.
Okay, so you have him over Horford, Noah, Brewer.
Here's why. There's only 10 starters in Florida's 110-year, I think it's 110, 120-year basketball history. There's only 10 starters who've ever won a national title. The 5 starters on the back-to-back teams, and these 5 starters. So there's only 10 who've ever been regular starters on a national championship team. Only 10 guys, okay? Right? The 5 guys in the best team in their history is the team that went back-to-back. But they shared the wealth. Honest to goodness, you could make the argument that they were equally important. All 5. You could split that importance 5 ways. I mean, obviously, Noah and Horford were the big guys. They did different things. Brewer was the 6'9" small forward swing guy. Humphrey made all the threes. Green ran the show. And even though Chris Richard came in some and Walter Hodge came in some, those 5 guys, I mean, that was if you want to put percentage of importance, you could almost go 5 times 20%. Don't you think?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, you might could give Noah a little more because he was their presence and he was their motor and he was, but you get the point. There's no comparison. Now, look. I'm glad Will Richard made a bunch of shots. They needed all 8 of those guys to win it. But Walter Clayton Jr. carried that team. He carried that basketball team as much as any one player can carry a team to a title.
I guess the criteria here is important. Now, if you're just talking about basketball player, because Joakim Noah was a rock star.
No question. But in terms, I agree with you. If I had to go, because we did this, here's how I would go. Tebow, Werfel, Spurrier, in my mind, have their own category. And I'm going to put Werfel in that category. Maybe others won't.
I would absolutely put Werfel in that category. Yeah.
Once you get past that category, Joakim Noah is probably the biggest star they've ever had at Florida. Emmitt Smith was a huge star when he got there and a great pro, but Florida was mediocre when he was there. That's just how good your team is has to factor into the conversation.
Sure.
It has to. So Joakim Noah was a rock star. But I don't know that I think he was more important or as important as Walter Clayton was to this team. I mean, Walter Clayton was hanging 30-point games like they were easy.
I think Walter Clayton was the most valuable player on the team. I'm not breaking any news there. But it goes back to that old saying, how many titles does Jordan win without Pippen? Do they win a title without Elijah Martin? Do they win a title without Will Richard? I mean, Clayton was the most important.
That'd be no and no. I hear you. I'm with you. That no and no. If any of those guys aren't on the team, they don't win that title.
Right.
There's no debating that. And listen, we have recency bias. There's nothing like that 06 and 07 team. There's nothing like they roared through people. They demoralized good teams. They held that banner. They all came back when they could have left. There was some magic in that group, man, that is hard to match. But when I look back at at the end of the day, when it's all over, Walter Clayton will not be remembered quite as fondly as the three football guys I mentioned, or Noah, or maybe some of the players on that team. But my point is, he certainly deserves conversation. That's my point. He carried that group.
You just brought up an interesting point. And look, I go back, it's 20 years or 19 years ago, and I agree. You think about the most recent thing. As fun as that was, 05, 06, 06, 07, it was great. Yeah. I remember you sent me to New Orleans for that first.
You did the first round.
I did the first round in New Orleans. Are you kidding me? I was 23 years old going to the NCAA tournament on Bourbon Street. Yeah. I was living the dream.
And I'll tell you a quick story on that. To cover all the rounds, you had to go to every round. I mean, to cover the Final Four, you had to go to every round. Well, I didn't want to go to the first round. I was covering the rest of it. I said, Hack, can we pay you money to go to New Orleans and cover the Gators?
23-year-old Hacker said, as a matter of fact, Frank, yes, you can.
Yeah, okay, but go ahead.
But it was awesome. Don't get me wrong. It was great. Man, thinking back about the run that this team made, it was a month ago tonight or 4 weeks ago tonight, they won the title. You thought they were going to lose those last 4 games.
It was Hoosiers. It was Hoosiers. Remember, if you watched Hoosiers, every game down the stretch, they almost lost. The one game, the guy cut his head open. The next game, Ollie made the 2 free throws. The next game, I mean, at the end, Jimmy had to make the shot. If you remember, every game, this team without a lot of stars, Hoosiers, found a way to come back and magically win.
I mean, there's a picture of the Texas Tech game that I saw online. 2 minutes and 52 seconds to go. It's when Thomas Houck's 3 was in the air.
Right, down 9.
It's 75-66.
Down 9.
How they won that game is nuts, thinking back about it a month and a half later.
And as good as Houck was in that, Martin made the 2 free throws. Richard made all the shots in the first half of the championship game. Houck made big plays the whole tournament. Condon and Chinyalu gave them presence in the middle that they don't win without. Henlockton gave them important minutes. Aberdeen hit some big shots, including at least 1 free throw down the stretch. But Walter Clayton carried that team. My point about that is, I hope as years go on, and he's like everybody else. To your point about Emmett, if he goes to the NBA and becomes Steph Curry, and by the way, Donovan Mitchell's 6'3". Steph Curry's 6'3". He's not too little to be a star.
No.
He's 6'3".
Jalen Brunson.
So if he goes to the league and becomes one of those guys, then we'll remember him more fondly as the Gator because he'll stay in our presence. He'll stay in our consciousness. But if he doesn't, I mean, Werfel and Tebow, even Spurrier, didn't need the NFL to be remembered as some of the greatest Gator football players of all time. They didn't need that. I hope Clayton doesn't need that. I feel there's a part of me that thinks he will. I just hope people realize how great that guy is. I mean, you and I had this talk last time you were on the show. They don't even make overtime against Colorado last year if he doesn't go for 30-plus and hit that dynamic 3 at the end of regulation.
Right.
It's amazing. I mean, he single-handedly beat Texas Tech. He single-handedly beat UConn. 2 games they were losing, man. And here's what happened on SportsCenter. Here's what happened when Jay Billis, whoever analyzed it, Florida got outplayed, but they had Walter Clayton and the other guy didn't.
Yeah.
That was until the Houston game. That was the conversation. And I'll give Kelvin Sampson credit. Kelvin Sampson said, "Look, he's a good defensive coach. When they found a way to beat Duke, I'm still not sure how they beat Duke. Just like I'm still not sure how Florida beat them. But on that Sunday." I promise you, you want me to tell you what happened in that Sunday practice? Let me tell you what happened at the Houston practice, okay? Kelvin Sampson said, I don't know if we're winning or losing tomorrow night, but he's not beating us. Somehow, some way, he's beaten everybody else. He has single-handedly gotten them to Monday night. He isn't beating us. We'll run a big at him. We'll double team him. We'll get the ball out of his hands. I don't care if we leave Chinyalu open under the basket for 10 straight dunks. That guy's not beating us. And so that's when the other guy stepped up, and then he beat you with a big defensive play.
And the Gators are getting the star treatment, being defending national champions. Opening night, November 3rd, we already knew they were playing Arizona in Las Vegas. It's being reported now in the last hour or so that Florida is going to be a part of the Jimmy V Classic at Madison Square Garden, taking on Dan Hurley and UConn, who they beat in the second round. So UConn at the Garden, Arizona to kick off the year in Vegas. You're not going to be able to say anything about Florida's non-conference next year.
You know where Danny Hurley is right now as we speak? He's at a restaurant arguing with the bartender. He's arguing with the server.
Yeah.
He didn't. You know what happened? His meat came out cold. Okay, and he's arguing right now. That's what his palms are up in the air, and he's arguing. That's what he's doing right now.
No question.
We'll take a break. College football talk after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make, and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is, and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Believe in the unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
1010XL.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
We're hearing is believing.
Unbelievable.
Hi, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass, there's one name I trust, and that's Lee & Case Glass. Mirrors, custom showers, tabletops, even foggy glass windows, they handle all that. And they've been doing it right since long before I ever picked up a mic. Local, family-owned, and part of this community, just like we are. They've taken great care of me, including our brand-new walk-off offices. Guys, they did a great job, and I promise they'll do the same for you. Lee & Case, it's the clear choice. Check them out at leeandcaseglass.com.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, you know, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Boots, and for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
The Sawgrass Marriott Golf Resort and Spa is the perfect place for indulging in a pampering spa treatment. This Mother's Day season, give the gift of wellness with a gift card and take advantage of the spa's current promotion. Buy a $75 gift card or more and guests get a credit towards a future service. With healing massages, revitalizing facial treatments, and more, a day at the Sawgrass Spa makes a perfect gift for everyone. Purchase in person at Sawgrass Spa during operating hours.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
No matter what the reason, sending a floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers always works. For unique and special gifts, visit their showroom on Beach Boulevard. ET here with 1010XL. Kuhn Flowers is my go-to, and it should be yours too. Online at KuhnFlowers.com.
Get closer to nature.
Trying to get close to these bucks out here.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Faber, and Captain Kirk Walls. The Nimnicht Outdoor Show. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball is home this week at the newly renovated Five-Star Ballpark. The Jumbo Shrimp take on the AAA New York Mets. Tomorrow is tacos and tequila, followed by a day game on Wednesday. Then it's Coors Light Thirsty Thursday and fireworks Friday and Saturday. Baseball all weekend. Tickets start at just $5. JackShrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mokama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor
the perfect pilsners and lagers. Matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. You've heard us talk about it. Window World, the #1 window replacement company in the USA, selling over 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years.
That's a lot of satisfied customers, and why J.D. Powers has awarded Window World Best in Customer Satisfaction 3 out of 4 years.
Window World stands behind their slogan, simply the best for less. With Window World, you get top quality windows at a price that leaves more of your money in your bank account, and you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement industry. When compared to our competition, there is none. See for yourself. Call the competition. Get quotes from them. But before you buy, get Window World's free estimate and compare the quality of the windows and the price.
You'll see.
And when your new Window World windows are installed and they're saving you money on your energy bills, if anything goes wrong with those windows, Window World and I will be there to make it right. That's my guarantee.
Call Window World today. Start saving money on your new windows and your energy bills, and take vacation with your savings. Window World, online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors and siding.
Do you know someone looking for a fun and rewarding summer job? Join the YMCA team, gain valuable experience, and make a difference in kids' lives. Turn your passion for this community into a fulfilling career at the First Coast YMCA. Now hiring camp counselors, lifeguards, childcare leaders, and membership experience team. Every single person on the dedicated YMCA staff plays a role in making the Y a welcoming and vital resource for our community. Find your career at the Y at fcymca.org.
Equal opportunity employer.
Need cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash, and they're ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. And gold market prices are at a record high. Get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
We do thank our friends from the Best Bet. Always a Best Bet Monday around here. Now, Tuesdays at Best Bet Jacksonville brings you $500 high hands every 30 minutes. That's 10 a to 6 p and 8 p to midnight. And do want to remind you now, the Poker Atlas Poker Tour, they got a lot of those good tours there. It's back at Best Bet St. Augustine. That's next month. Satellites into the title event start May 17th. That St. Augustine location is fantastic right there on 95. Ahead to the Best Bet. 3 locations, Jacksonville, St. Augustine, and Orange Park. JJ, I have to report in to you. Please pass this along to the parents and the friends back home. I've now got more DMs and texts about Six Gun territory that you can imagine.
Six Gun Plaza is in its place now.
I'm just telling. Oh, it is.
So it's like a shopping plaza, and they still have the little name up there. But yeah, not like it used to be. It was the Disney World of Ocala.
All our old buddies are texting me. Yeah, I remember Six Gun. Yeah, apparently someone just told me it actually closed as Six Gun territory in '84.
Okay.
So there you go. So
more recent than I thought.
Doesn't John Travolta live in Ocala?
He did.
He does.
Yeah.
Jambalaya is what it's called. It's like a big, I wouldn't call it, it's a little bit outside of Ocala, but yeah, he has his own airfield, landing field.
It's he flies the 747.
Yeah.
That must be nice.
It's not a little plane. He flies like a real plane, like a 747.
That's good work if you can get it, I suppose. Right?
I actually dated a girl who was her father at one time was his co-pilot.
How about that?
Yeah.
So
He's Ocala royalty. You'll see him like walking around every once in a while downtown.
I've told this story on the air many times, but his personal lawyer lived in our neighborhood.
Oh.
And one night, when Amber was, I don't know, 8 or 9 maybe, on Halloween, she was out trick-or-treating, and we take the golf cart around. Suzanne would take her around and whatnot. And Amber came back one night with all this candy. He said, what'd you do? I said, how was it? I said, it was good. And she walked in and had all this candy. I said, where are you going? She goes, I'm going back. I won't say the family's name. I'm going back to the blank, blank, blank family. I said, you are? Yeah. She's what? I said, okay. You get trick or treat? She said, no. The Mr. Travolta's there. And
Mr.
Travolta's there and everyone's having a big time. I said, Mr. Who? She said, Mr. Travolta. Yeah, he and his wife's Kelly, and they're both down there.
Wow.
And I said,
wow.
John Travolta and Kelly Preston are down the street, and by the time I saw the back of Amber's head, she was gone back down the street. I told Susan
You weren't invited.
I was not invited,
Man.
but I so wanted to just walk down there and kind of like be creepy guy, like you just.
Of course.
But I didn't. So John Travolta and Kelly Preston were in our neighborhood when my daughter was about 8 or 9 years old, just handing out candy on Halloween.
It's freaking Travolta, man.
I mean, how good is that?
There's no question.
So there you go. College football for a second. Knowles, Gators, Canes. I'll get to the Dogs in a minute. Who's going to be good? What's your guess? So those three teams. Who's good this coming year?
This is going to sound like a homer pick, but I think Florida on paper probably has the best chance.
Best
to
roster.
Be good, the best roster. Miami's going to be good, but Miami lost a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, Miami lost a lot, and we're assuming Carson Beck's going to pick up right where he left off at Georgia. But keep in mind, they lost one of their running backs. They lost their best receiver. They lost some offensive linemen. They lost some defensive starters. I mean,
tight end.
I mean, Miami did lose a lot. Now, Miami's schedule is not as challenging as Florida's. And I know ACC people hate me saying that, but that's just the reality of the situation.
No, it's not. JJ, what is the buzz about Miami?
They're doing great in the portal right now.
Okay.
Like, they got a starting safety. They got 2 wide receivers. They got a running back. They got the running back from the North Dakota State title-winning team. Okay. They got a kicker. And listen, the defense was so freaking bad last year. Just changing coordinators and getting some of these guys out of the portal has to be better than they will. I don't expect the offense to be anywhere close with Cam Ward. But if the offense can be 75% of what it was last year and the defense just be a little bit better, I fully expect 10 wins.
Yeah, so the buzz is positive.
They should be good. Yes, okay. So very positive right now.
I think this. I think Miami will be good, not as good as they were. I've said this about Florida, and I'm probably being a homer too, but it is what I think. I believe the roster at Florida will finally be like the good teams. I think maybe not exactly, but I think the roster now will look more like Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, LSU, whoever, Texas, than it's looked in a long time. The rooms are all really good, and I do believe that. I think the rooms are all really good there. There's 2 questions about, and then, by the way, the schedule's brutal again. I mean, one more year of this bad rotation, even with the quarterbacks gone, it's still really good programs, you know. But I think there's a couple more thoughts for me. Number one, as far as how good Florida will be, what will determine whether they're good or not. A couple things. Number one, I think DJ Lagway, can he take the next step? Everyone thinks Lagway's going to be great, and I do too. But the reality, and he's tough, he's hard to tackle, he's a great kid, he's a great leader. But his touchdown interceptions was 12-9.
Right.
That's got to become 25-5 if you're going to be super special. That's what today's good quarterbacks. It's 5-1 is your touchdown to interception ratio. It is, and so I mean, Graham Mertz left Florida. You know what his was? Do you know Graham Mertz?
It was like 30-3 or
26-5.
26-5.
Graham Mertz at Florida. Now again, he didn't press the ball down the field as much as he should have, whether that was the offense or him. But 26 touchdowns and 5 picks. If DJ Lagway can become that with doing everything else he does, including press it down the field, so that's one. And number 2, look, I'm rooting for the guy, but until Billy Napier proves that he's a good enough sideline coach and a good enough managing timeouts and good enough managing the game, then it's going to be hard to be sure he's going to do it. So that, to me, are the 2 questions about Florida's team. And I want to get to FSU in a minute. But the 2 questions about Florida's team for me, Hack, are A, will Lagway take that next step statistically? Because at some point you have to. And B, can Billy Napier, as a sideline tactician, be as good as he needs to be?
Look, I think Florida's got a lot going for him. The fact that Banks, Barber, Slaughter, and Sapp all came back. All 4 of those guys would have been drafted last week in the NFL. I think that's huge for the Gators. 2 on the O-line, 2 on the D-line. My issue is, like you said, Frank, the schedule. The season could be a disaster before mid-October because you're going to win your first 2. They play Long Island, and then they play, due respect to USF, but they're going to beat USF. At LSU, 7 days later at Miami, 7 days later home Texas, 7 days later at A&M.
Yeah, there's an off date before Texas, but you're right.
Okay, but so there's 4 games in 5 weeks, but the 7-day period between at LSU and at Miami, that is crazy.
Yeah, I think, and I might be wrong, and JJ will make me eat my words if I am, I think they're going to beat Miami. I like Carson Beck, and he's a Jacksonville guy. But he struggled last year. Even before the injury, he was struggling. We saw the Florida-Georgia game. He had a tough game against the Florida defense in this. So I think LSU's the hardest game probably on their schedule. It's on the road. I think Garrett Nussmeier, I just saw Todd McShay's mock for next year. He's the number 1 pick overall, and I think that's what he's going to be. I think Garrett Nussmeier would have been a top 15 pick this year.
Yeah.
I think he'd have been the second quarterback off the board. So, but I think if you win at Miami, or if you lose at LSU and win at Miami, you're 3-1 and an off date coming up. And then your season. Because then you're home against Texas, and then at Texas A&M, and then home against Mississippi State. And again, I'd rather be home against Texas and at A&M than the other way around. So you got the Miami. If you're going to lose at LSU, and I think that's a hard one, then you got to beat Miami. And then between Texas and A&M, at least split those.
At worst, you got to split them.
Then you're 5 and they're going to be. Then you're 5-2 when you come to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So, but look, we'll figure out who's better and who's not, and who's favored and which ones you win. If Lagway takes that next step, and if Napier can be serviceable on the sideline, they have a good team. I think they do. Let's go to the Noles. Do you have a feel for the Noles with all the portal stuff?
No,
in your opinion, the Florida State football team?
I mean, I like Castellanos.
I do
there's
too.
a lot of questions about him.
I like him too, though. I think for as portal quarterbacks go, he's played, he's tough, he's athletic, he's undersized.
Yeah.
But like Ira Schofel said, if he's anywhere as good for FSU as he was against FSU, he's going to be a good player.
No, that's a good point. He was very good against Florida State. I mean, look, Florida State's going to be better, but that's relative because they can't get any worse than 2-10. I guess my question is, and I asked this to Florida State fans on my show a couple weeks ago, I mean, look, 7-5 would be a gigantic improvement from 2-10. 6-6 would be a gigantic improvement from 2-10. Yet I get the sense if they're 6-6 or even 7-5, Florida State fans are going to be calling for Mike Norvell's head again.
Yeah, 7-7 I think gets him one more year because the buyout is big. 6-6 may not. I'll say this. Here's what I'll say about Mike Norvell. I know he gets criticized a lot, but I'll say this. He had 2 pretty good seasons. You win 10 games. You won 23 games in 2 years.
Yeah,
that's you can't say, well, that didn't really happen. It did happen. He built a program, took a program that was not very good, including his first 2 years, and won 23 games over a 2-year period. That's pretty good. All right. Then they had the disaster season. Then they had the Travis injury and the Georgia. We all know what happened then. Followed by a disastrous season. So they've been disastrous ever since they didn't get invited to the playoff. But to his credit, he gutted it, man. He gutted his staff. He ran off his offensive guy. He ran off his defensive guy. He ran off many of his assistants. He brought in probably 25 portal guys. I don't know if that's going to work, but at least rather than sitting on your hands, how many coaches say, stay the course, stay the course, stay the progress, stay the progress? He said, screw that. I'm about to get fired here. I'm blowing it all up. Now, we'll see if it works or not, but at least that's about as proactive as you could have been in that instance.
Do you give him credit for doing that, or you give him blame for getting in that situation?
Both. Great question. Fair question. Both. I think both.
Yeah.
It's really been a weird tenure. He takes over, and they're horrible. Okay. He took over from Taggart, right?
Yeah.
Am I missing somebody? No, he took over
from Taggart.
They're terrible because he's inherited a terrible team. Within 3 years, he's got them pretty good. Within 4 years, they're very good. And with a whole bunch of portal guys, and then you blink and they're horrible. It was a bizarre up and down the ladder, man. You think about it.
So, it was the biggest fall, I think, from any Power 5 conference team ever to go from 13 wins or whatever they had to 2.
Yeah, and I don't know how they got to 2. And so
Pitt played better than they did that game.
Right. So I'm with you. I blame him as much as I give him credit, but now we'll see. Here, the problem they've got is even if he turns it around a little bit this year, they didn't do much in the high school ranks.
No.
So at some point in football, basketball, you can kind of survive with 60% of your impact players being portal guys. You really can in football. Football, you got to be able to. But I tell you what, they're going to be one of the most interesting teams in college football because it is an ACC schedule. It is a schedule where more years than not you've got better players than your opponents, and it's a bunch of new guys. I mean, it's a ton of new guys.
I mean, we got 3 or 4 months to talk about it, but you have to figure Lee Corso's final game day
got to be
on August 30th is going to be in Tallahassee.
How have they not already even decided?
Right.
You got Alabama. You got one of the big games. You got Lee Corso's final. I'll bet you the fact that they're giving him one more game rather than just announcing his retirement means they're going to Tallahassee. I'll bet that's already been decided.
Which will be a crazy atmosphere. That's a huge game for Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah,
huge game for Alabama as well.
Right, no question. I'll bet you if Alabama and if Florida State was opening with Charleston Southern, I'll bet they would have already announced his retirement.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bet the reason he's got one more game, because that's unusual to do one game and then be retired. It's got to be. Doesn't it have? I don't know why they haven't announced it already, but I've got to believe that means it's Alabama FSU.
No question. And huge game for both teams. That stadium got renovated. It's going to be the opening night for that thing. That game is probably going to be at night. But again, if Florida State beats Alabama, the conversation's completely different. If Alabama goes in there and beats FSU, Norvell's all of a sudden in trouble right out of the gate.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the Castellanos is the most important part of this whole story.
Oh, yeah.
Because if he's not good, Brock Glenn's the backup, well, he'll be fired at midseason.
Yeah,
if
sure.
Castellanos is hurt or not good, that thing's over at midseason. We'll see. We'll take a break. We'll wrap the program after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
With the second round of the NBA playoffs coming up, the Oklahoma City Thunder remain the best bet to win this year's Larry O'Brien Trophy. The Thunder, the top seed in the Western Conference and coming off a 4-game sweep against Memphis, will begin their second-round series against Denver. They are plus 130 to win the title. While the Boston Celtics, who have a second-round matchup against the New York Knicks, are plus 185. Celtics are the defending champs. The Cleveland Cavaliers, with the top record in the Eastern Conference, losing Game 1 in their series against Indiana. They are plus 600 to win the NBA title. The Minnesota Timberwolves, fresh off a series where they beat the Los Angeles Lakers, are plus 1,500 to win the title. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Hey there, Jacksonville. With scorching temperatures just around the corner, it's crucial to ensure your AC is blowing nice and cool. Duck Duck Air Conditioning is here to keep you comfortable all summer long. But don't wait until the heat gets here. Our service techs are ready right now to handle any cooling issues you may have at your home or business. Call Duck Duck AC today at 904-862-6769 to schedule. That's 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Air Conditioning. Online at duckduckac.com.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Chevrolet is proud to be an 8-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award. Earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness, all part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. Visit nimnickchevy.com to learn more. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. I've been buying my vehicles from Nimnick since 1982 because they care about their customers and are invested in our local community, including supporting walk-off charities. And all we're trying to do to help underprivileged kids learn to play baseball. Treating you right, giving back to the community, more choices and better prices for you. So who has put the most years in stands behind a better experience? The answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnick. Visit their showroom off Cassett Avenue or shop 24/7 at nimnickchevy.com. Head to Nimnick today. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple of years ago. When it's smooth as silk, Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. Terminix stops termites in my home fast. These destructive pests may have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so does Terminix. and their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem. I certainly wasn't going to. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. Terminix.com.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save 15% on roof replacements and repairs now through May 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Caliber lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit BowdenEye.com for a free screening. Bowden Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 3:20 for the latest in sports injuries. From all the big names in the game, who's MIA, who's coming back from injury. Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 3:20.
Summer in Jacksonville is coming in hot. Lauren Brooks here. Beat the heat with Turbo Tint. Their window tint blocks up to 99% of harmful UV rays and keeps your ride cool and comfortable. Book today at orangepark.turbotint.com.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent crashes and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll. Safety's the goal.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Hey, it's Matt Hays here with a challenge. A challenge might not be the best choice in words, so let's say an opportunity. Take the opportunity to lose 40 by the 4th with Awaken 180. It sounds a little different when you put a real goal to it, doesn't it? Maybe you looked at the scale this morning and it read 230 pounds. How about a reading 190 by the 4th? Maybe the scale says 300. Wouldn't the number 260 be a little nicer on your eyes and on your joints? It's attainable if you have the same results we all had with Awaken 180. I dropped 40 pounds in 9 weeks. Hacker dropped his first 40 in just 6 weeks. Dempsey, Blue, and everyone else I know, same results. And we've kept it off. The best thing about Awaken 180 weight loss, it will completely change the way you think, see, and feel about food. The results are real, attainable, and the process simple with Awaken 180. Take the opportunity and drop 40 by the 4th. It all starts with just one call to Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Call 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
We look back at where we've been during the course of the show. In the cool down, we talked Jags draft. Hacker and I did. What do we both think of the football team now? Hacker and I haven't had a chance to talk since the draft. First time he and I have been together, so we did that. Hacker gave me an NBA tutorial. He is guaranteed that the Cavs in the Oklahoma City will meet in the championship. Did I make that up?
Oklahoma City might be there. I'm not so sure about Cleveland.
We talked about Walter Clayton Jr., his place among the great Gators. We talked about the football season coming up, who's going to be good, who's not, and that's reviewed over the course of the show. You made a comment last week, a very intriguing comment to me, about was it E.T.? Who was trying the milk challenge?
E.T., yeah.
So take people through the milk challenge and tell them what that is.
You got to drink a gallon of milk in an hour.
Okay.
And
a gallon in an hour.
And not puke.
And ET tried it. I guess that was the spinning of the wheel that the boys do in the morning on the drill.
Right.
And he had lost one of their bets, so he had to do it. And I told him he couldn't do it because I've tried it 3 different times on 3 different radio stations.
Yeah. So take me through it. What's it like? Is there preparation involved?
Oh, it's horrible. I mean, no, I don't know how much preparation can be involved.
I mean, do you not eat all day or not drink all day?
I've tried every which way to do it. Now, granted, I haven't done it in about a decade. I retired.
Do you
from
pour it into glasses?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you pour it in a glass.
I pour in a 16-ounce glass.
And then let it fly.
And just let it fly. And I've tried in the 3 different times I've done it. I've tried to start off quick.
Yeah.
I've tried to end quick.
Yeah.
Just get it down at the very end. It's the only person I've seen do it's Joey Chestnut, who obviously can do anything like that. Anybody that tells me they can drink a gallon of milk in an hour without puking, I just do not believe.
So you've done it, and then when does the barfing come? When's the barfing period? Is it half hour in?
I've puked live on air on 3 different radio stations.
No, I know that, but I've been around. I've been in all 3 stations. But I mean, did you barf 40 minutes in?
Ugh, such a nasty word.
Yeah.
No, I mean, usually about 10 minutes. I've always.
How close have you gotten?
Oh, I got to within, I bet you I drank of 128 ounces. I bet you there was the last one I probably got to about 100, 110 ounces.
Wow, and then it all came up.
Yeah, and then it
was that a gross throw up?
It was gross.
All over the place.
I didn't know this is the direction the conversation was going to go, but since you're doing this, it was outside on the 4th of July.
Okay.
So not only did I drink 100 ounces of milk, but it was 95 degrees outside.
Gosh, God bless you.
And I was part of the afternoon program at the time.
Yeah, I remember well.
And at that point, I said, you know what? I think I'm 29, going on 30.
Right.
I think I'm done. I might bring it out of retirement someday. I applaud ET for trying it.
Yeah.
But 3 times and I'm out. So I struck out the milk challenge, and I hope to never do it again.
Okay. And I applaud you for trying it, although I don't know why you would. But
have you ever thought about doing it?
No, I wouldn't be able. I would be. I would. I almost threw up hearing you talk about it.
Oof. Yeah, it's so gross.
Has anyone ever? I mean, do you ever know anyone that's ever done it?
Joey Chestnut's the only one.
Okay, is that like true? Is that like no one's ever done it?
He did it on a radio station in like a minute and 10 seconds.
Wow.
He drank a whole gallon. He just downed it in one gulp.
How about that?
Well, he's a freak, though.
Eric Badlands Booker could do it.
Badlands Booker might be able. He's one of those competitive eaters, perhaps.
So
he's like a drink. He's a YouTube drink guy now, though.
Who is
his whole thing is just like, how much can I drink?
Who was the competitive eater from Orange Park we used to have on?
Oh, Hall Hunt.
Yeah, remember that? He'd come on. He's like some skinny.
I've had him on a bunch.
They're
man.
all pretty skinny.
He's great.
He's some skinny dude. He was great.
He downed like 25 Nathan's hot dogs in 10 minutes or something. That's a fantastic accomplishment.
I can't do any of that though. Have you been in pizza eating contest?
I got a narrow esophagus, so I can't really do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I've issues with speed eating challenges.
Okay.
And maybe 100 pounds ago it would have been a little easier for me. I don't have the excess room now.
I think we were at 9:30 when we did the the Florida-Georgia pizza eating contest at Renna's Pizza.
Okay.
On Bay Meadows Road.
I love Renna's.
Yeah, this was on Bay Meadows Road. Was Alex Lamb? I think Alex Lamb might have been in it.
Wow, yeah. Old school.
Yeah, this had to be the 90s probably. And we did it out. You remember Renna's Pizza on Bay Meadows Road?
Oh, yeah.
When it was on right there on Bay Meadows?
Oh, yeah.
And we did it there. We used to do our Thursday night show there. And we did it out sort of on the sidewalk. And it was fun. People were going crazy, cheering. We had a couple hundred people there all circling around. And then, bro, there was barfing all around.
Oh, my gosh.
It was like rapid fire barfing. It was just, JJ, it was spectacular. You had to see it.
I'm glad I missed it, actually.
That's like that Man versus Food show. I don't think they do it anymore, but I've always been like intrigued by those shows, how like those guys can do that, eat that much food in that amount of time. I don't know if it's a talent or a curse.
Yeah, well, a curse. Probably more of a curse. So, hey, before we get out of here, I wasn't here, but you said you had a great topic about Greg Popovich and where he is among the great coaches. If Phil Jack is Red Auerbach 1, Phil Jackson 2.
Yes.
Is he next?
Absolutely.
He'd be third, right?
He'd be third. He's on the Mount Rushmore of NBA coaches. 5 championships. Kind of salty towards some media and reporters.
That's all right.
But I told Hays this last week. I've always appreciated Popovich's like in-game interviews,
right?
Because I think that's dumb. Anyway, to put a microphone in a coach's face,
I do too.
In the midst of a game, I don't know why the networks do that. So Popovich sheds light on how dumb it really is. Yeah. So I've never had any issues with that.
I loved when he did that.
Oh, I thought it was great.
I loved when he would give a one-word answer and walk away.
So, Greg, how's the game going for you?
Bad.
Good. What are you going to change in the second quarter? Nothing. All right, back to you upstairs. That's all he did.
The that I would think he's regarded as that is Becky. Does Becky Hammond have a chance to get that job?
No, they've already given it to one of the assistants.
The guy who was doing it this year, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, a guy that was. They already.
Was she ever
announced.
in it? Was she ever?
I don't believe she was ever in it. No. And Popovich actually had his press conference today to kind of say goodbye. He's still going to be the team president.
Right. For people that don't know, he had a stroke.
Yes.
And he had some health issues. He's 76 years old. He had a stroke.
He's out pretty much the whole season. This year.
Yeah. And so there was talk about would he come back or would he not. Go ahead. For people that just didn't know the story.
Yeah, and Hays, again, last week we had this topic of the best current coaches in all of sports. Current coaches still have to be coaching. And you think about the guys we've lost to retirement, from Greg Popovich to Nick Saban. If you go down to Coach K, Roy Williams, Jay Wright, Jim Boeheim, I mean, we've lost a lot of really good coaches in the last couple of years to retirement. And you ever wonder, I mean, Popovich was in San Antonio for 30 years.
Yeah.
Will we ever have a coach, either collegially or professionally, that spends 25, 30 years in one job ever again?
Yeah, well, to your point, certainly not very often.
Not very
often. So the great one, we've on our watch. If you throw Spurrier and Bowden and Tom Coughlin into that, we've seen some of the best coaches we'll ever see.
Sure.
Even in your generation, where you're going to see a lot more coaches moving forward now than I will. So it's interesting stuff, no question. Let's say hello to Rick below.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. Near your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
Now, I'm going to guess you shot 84. You doubled 7. You got up and down on 11, which kind of helped save the round a little bit. It was that 3-jack on 16 that's got you pissed off. How am I doing?
It was the best ball.
Okay. Oh, it was. Okay.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal event. This third year in a row I played in it, the Anti-Up for Autism.
Oh, very cool.
Event. And Miller Electric's a huge benefactor there. So played with Ed Witt from Miller Electric, Josh Scobie, and Aaron Beasley.
How about that?
Yeah. No mulligans. We're only 7 under. We did not play. We couldn't putt today over at Deerwood.
Did 2 drives from everybody?
Yeah, 2 drives from everyone. No mulligans again. So I think the winning score might have been 10 under. I don't remember exactly.
I mean, Scobie's okay, but I figured you carried that team.
Yeah, I did. And it was a great round. It was fun. But,
where was it?
Josh had his mom in town, so she rode around with us as well.
Oh, very cool.
It was over at Deerwood.
Okay, with Josh's home track.
Yeah.
So
great day. And Captain Sandy was in from, I met her last year out there. What's it called?
Below
JJ?
Deck.
Below Deck. Yeah. I'm sure you watched
One of my wife's favorites.
I have no idea what it is.
Yeah. Honestly, neither do I.
Okay.
But apparently, like, tons of people watch it. It's pretty popular. So she was out there, and it was a great day. It was a great day.
I'm not a hockey guy, but did you watch the hockey last night?
Oh, my goodness. It was absolutely just phenomenal.
Even for a guy like me that doesn't care or know it, once you found it,
yeah,
what a game.
Well, Saturday night, too. I mean, you're down 2-0. You're Dallas, and you're going into the third period, and you find a way to get 3 consecutive goals from a guy that they traded away. Guy who had 81 playoff games spent in Denver, and they moved him, I think, to Carolina. Then Carolina traded him over to Dallas. So Dallas comes from behind and wins. Winnipeg last night comes from behind and wins. The hockey playoffs have been just incredible. Tonight's a big game. Florida Panthers in against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
All right, there you go. What's tonight?
We're going to talk all about hockey tonight.
Okay, good.
2 hours worth of hockey. No, make that an hour and a half worth of hockey, 30 minutes about our golf game.
I love it. Sounds like fun. Rick Ballou, you don't want to miss any of that. Rick Ballou goes into the night, and that happens right now. That'll do it for our program. One more day with Hacker before he heads to Orlando. He'll be with me tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. A lot to cover. Hack, we appreciate it, buddy. That'll do it for our program. For Hacker, for the absent Hays Carlyon, and for JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't